What's up, everyone? Kaiju no Kami here with
Krelika Kane,
and we are talking about Zenkaiger
Episode 10 Kai, Blue Sky, Day and Night Kai.
Did you really have to say the Kai every time?
Yep, because that's part of the title. And if you don't know this by now, welcome back to our newest episode of Couples Counseling. We're doing it for free because we're putting it on YouTube.
Well, is it free though if I'm getting ad revenue from this?
Well, it's free for us because we're not paying for a therapist.
Okay, whatever. Good enough. So we got this episode. We have...
Well, first, I want to start off with one thing. Before we continue, can you do one important thing that not only am I getting frustrated,
What?
but the viewers are getting frustrated about? Can you stop saying that this series is bothering you and that you're about close to giving up?
I never said I was close to giving up. I was just saying it was getting tiresome.
And you've been saying that since episode 1.
That is not true. I said I really liked episode 4, or the ice episode.
Yes, but you keep on going back and forth to it, so it's tiresome. So don't include that.
Well, if we're going to record every episode one at a time, things are going to get on repeat because I don't always pay attention to exactly what I said in the previous video by the time we do the next video. So yes, there are going to be some repeated things, just like how there are repeated formulas in these shows.
But...
So no, I'll do what I want. Quiet you. But anyway, this episode. First, I called it that the brothers were transformed into the SD Gundams by some curse, and that they were actual people. SD-topia.
Okay.
So, haha, I was right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh.
He's a terrible winner.
I called it. Okay.
Really?
We can go up. We'll get on with the episode now.
So, no more I was right as we go through the episode?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. Let's get to the episode.
So, this episode takes place with Noon World. And I actually have to say, I really liked the monster design.
Yeah, that is probably my favorite monster design of thus far in the entire series.
Because I liked how it looked like a sun, but it kind of had that feeling like of a clock face. And the standout characters for this episode for me are Zox and Majine. Especially when Majine, later in the episode, goes apeshit insane. But nevertheless, it starts off kind of humbly.
Well, Zox and his sister are buying food.
Flint.
Yes. And then he notices a monster is on top of the building.
Which I thought was like about time in all of Sentai. Very rarely does any ranger look up and see a monster. I'm sorry. They come in after shit has gone down. They don't just look up.
Yeah, when he's like, oh! And then you see the monster they're about to do an attack and...
I'm like, thank you. Preemptive. Now, I know you got frustrated because there were 2 dance scenes.
Oh my god.
But
Even the monster got frustrated.
I still love the dancing.
I don't know. The dance just looks so ridiculous to me. It looks like a monkey dancing.
I still love it. It's still one of my favorite things about the character trope for Zox/Toku.
In fact, now I want to put the Donkey Kong Country end music when they're when Dixie Kong gets the one that hits the end of the level and starts doing Diddy Kong did the guitar, so Dixie Kong did the drums. But I want to just put that music over his dancing scene because it's all I think of.
I still am 100% down for Zox dancing because it's fun, it's energetic, and it kind of takes a little bit of an element outside of it. I did also like about this episode, it did not resolve the whole Sixth Ranger becoming kumbaya with the rest of the team. Because I know that's a fear that you have, and it's a fear I think many people have, especially with the Sixth Ranger coming in so flippant.
Oh, he's going to join.
I know he's going to join, but I'm happy it's not happening quickly. The reason I mention that is because Zoc starts fighting Noon World. And they're going at it. Noon World, in his brilliance, as he's running past, and he's getting shot at by Zenkaiger, he sees this couple in the worst thing in the world, and that's matching shirts. I'm sorry, couples that wear matching shirts need to break up, because...
Were they trying to do Kamen Rider Devil too? Because it was like half and half matching.
I don't know. I hate when couples synchronize their clothing. It bothers me. It's like a trigger. Because people should not be synchronizing their clothing. If you're in a relationship, and if you do it cool, but no, you're never going to wear the same thing as me.
I hope not.
But nevertheless, he grabs the boyfriend, and the girl does the smartest thing in the world, though. Self-preservation! Boom! She gets the hell out of there.
Self-preservation? She should have been defending him, trying to help him.
Against a monster?
Yes.
I'm sorry, honey. We have been together for 20 years.
Yes.
We are ride or die until a zombie apocalypse comes, and the zombie comes after you. I'm getting the hell out of there because I need to live. I love you.
Okay, whatever.
But I need that head start.
Uh-huh.
You can survive. I need the head start. But nevertheless, Noon World is holding on to this poor guy.
Thinking...
almost like dancing around with him. And Zenkaiger, he then says, I'm holding this guy hostage. You won't shoot. And he pulls a Kaiju no Kami move and says, boom, I won't.
Oh, I loved it when Zenkaiger was like, I don't care if you have a hostage. Just gonna shoot the hostage too.
I thought of you because it's also the same thing Alucard does in Hellsing. When Ceres is being held captive, and you thought the same thing when we watched Hellsing because you're like, hostage? What hostage? Bye. This is why you'd be a terrible police officer.
Well, I also don't do blackmail either.
Well, no. I've learned that the hard way many times.
But then we have the Zenkaiger show up, and they have to, like, he goes in, saves the dude, and all of a sudden Zenkaiger goes, like, yells at him, and then you turn around and the monster's gone. Like,
well,
what?
No, what I thought was funny is he uses the Mega Ranger gear to save him, just so he can do a flying skateboard.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're doing Mega Red now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of cool because I was like, oh, Mega Red, it's been a long time.
And then Zenkaiger's like, wait, where'd the monster go?
And then he just gets pissed off and he's like, why are you interfering?
And then he goes into his ship and Kaito just jumps on.
Oh my god! Kaito is damned and determined to go the places he's not allowed to go.
And then they're in their really bad CGI ship.
I will give you that. It was terrible CGI.
And then talks about the whole backstory with their brothers. And I like that when Kaito's like, oh, that's not how they originally looked. I thought in some universes they might have.
I know. I thought that was hilarious because everybody, and then the two, Katsuner and, oh wow, I can't even remember his name now. But the other brother, well, I had
Katsuner.
Save the World, I have to look at the names. Katana and
We don't have
Riki.
Riki, yeah, because
So,
of Old Ranger.
and they both look at him like, did you think we were born like this? And I'm like, looking at you because you're like, yeah, did you think they were born like this? And when they talked about the SD-topia, I slap him in the arm because I'm like, you made all the references to SD Gundam yesterday. And
last week, you mean?
last week, yeah. Yeah, it feels like yesterday. This is how couple counseling works. It never goes away. But I like that. And then they're trying to shame Kaito by saying, well, see, this is why you need to stop helping that you need to stop looking at us to help other people. And Kaito's like, my parents, I'm trying to get them back. And Zox is like, whatever, bro, I don't care, type of thing.
And then we have, at some point they cut to, the villains, and he's just pounding, like, you just see his hand, you just see, like, the top of Barashitara's, like, body bouncing constantly. It's just like, rah, rah.
And Iago, once again, has... Yes, but Iago.
JJ.
Gigi.
No,
It's G-E-G-E, so I'm just doing Gigi. But nevertheless, Iago. Once again, if you're tuning in for the first time, I don't care what the bird's name is. It's always going to be Iago. And he is like the voice of reason, like, Izurud is doing something. Why not let him finish what he's doing before you go crazy? I really think that Iago is like the actual leader, and the Great King is just a dunce.
He's just the stand-in?
Yes.
The wallpaper?
Oh my god. And even Barashitara is like, well, they're not acting as a team. They're not joining forces. And we get proven even further because we get back to the world and we see everybody on the Zenkaiger team in the store, and they're first like, where are all the kids? It's been hours. Even though you find out in a few minutes, it's been 3 days of nonstop sunlight. And they don't live in Alaska. So this is kind of new. And then they turn...
No, I didn't take it as... I thought Zox meant he has been on Earth for 3 days. So this is...
No. He is saying... Well, when Flint and him were talking, he's like, yeah, it's been 3 days since I've last went down to the Earth. So, Noon World has been... And so...
And everyone's all tired, like, this is like the longest day ever. It's like...
Yeah, that's a Monday. But then...
No, it's Sunday.
I know, but... And then we cut to the most pitiful and also adorable thing I've ever seen. And the monster of the week is hiding in a tunnel. And he even says, basically, I'm in the most pathetic place in the world. And we're all like, yeah.
But he's like, I've got to hide to keep this going, which usually the monsters always just come out right away or something. So it was funny. He's like, yep, I've got to stay here and hide while we let the world expire itself. And
I'm like, it's kind of a brilliant plan, but the way he was holding his knees like this, I'm like, it's the most pathetic thing I've seen for a monster. But it was the brilliant thing because... Honestly, nobody knew. The only reason Zox knew is because they're not on Earth.
Well, I like it when Zox is like, did the Earth have that many suns before? I don't remember that.
Well, and then so Zox goes down, and this is the second dance scene we have in the episode, but he's doing it in a tunnel with water, and he's singing as well. And I know you don't like it, but once again, I am 100% down for it.
I think it's the what bothers me the most is when he like lifts his leg up to do that little thing where he's like, woo.
Yeah, please try to imitate it with your white ass dancing.
No. I'm too white for that.
Yeah.
But I think that's exactly what it is that bothers me. Is that that's the part that looks really ridiculous to me.
Well, exactly. And
but
I understand where you're coming from. It does depending on how slowed down it is, it does look ridiculous, but I am still 100% all in.
I'd rather have the samba dance from Kyoruger.
Finally, a time where you have recognized Kyoruger for something positive.
But I liked how the monster's like, no, not the dancing again.
And so he gets him out of the tunnel. And they start fighting down the street, and once again, there is no conscious reaction from Kaiser on any of the people around. It's just tunnel vision on the monster. And he keeps on shooting, obviously decimating things around him, which is hurting other people. The Zenkaigers come in, and they start protecting everyone, especially when this huge piece of plaster from the building falls and would crush people. Well, we would assume it would harm people because...
I'm just laughing that Kaito is like thinks he's actually making it progress by holding it up when it's only being held up because the other 4 robots are doing it for him.
Hey, let Kaito believe in his dream that he's as strong as robots. Let him live his truth.
But
even if it's wrong, let Kaito believe his scrawny ass arms can... Well, actually, enough adrenaline. There have been stories about women who've had enough adrenaline they can lift a car.
Yeah, they actually said that in something. I watched something recently that referenced that, but whatever.
Yeah. So adrenaline can make you do powerful things.
Yeah, but really, it was the 4 buddy roids. Not buddy roids. Kikanoids.
Let him live his truth. Okay?
But then so they destroy the monster, and then it goes all nighttime, and everyone's just like, oh, it's nighttime.
Well, yeah, because Gowon and Juron both, pass out. Room gets a little dozy, and Majine starts to get dozy. Then the big Noon World monster comes in, and Majine goes apeshit. She's like, you cannot do fortune telling with this many suns. And she wakes up Kaito, wakes up Vroom. They do their transformations, come together as the mech, and then she is all down for it, both her and Vroom, and Kaito falls asleep.
Oh, I just love, though, the tone in her voice when she's like, oh, hell no!
She is like a mom. If you mess with one of her children, just like a mom, she will
she's trying to use spells to block out the suns, and then they put on sunglasses.
Oh!
Or not sunglasses,
Well, they are technically sunglasses, but they look like the 3D glasses.
Well, no, he's like, they're not sunglasses, they're the specialty solar glasses, for the solar eclipses and stuff.
Yes, because they look at him and they can see the sun.
Mm-hmm. And then when they finally are beating him, they're like, okay, Kaito, do the final attack, and Kaito's falling asleep.
And Majine has to yell at him to wake him up, and he's still dozing, doing the final attack, and I'm like...
Although I will say, I thought we were going to actually see 2 Kaiser's mech in this episode.
I actually feel like the way Majine went crazy, that the mech battle fits, because she was like, nope. We are not playing this game. And then you still have Gowron and Juron still lying on the ground.
And Flint's like, should we get rid of them now so they won't trouble us later?
Yeah. And I'm like, once again, him. Because you even made that comment. I know we were watching something else, but you're like, do you really have to tell your plan? Just do it. But this episode... I enjoyed this episode. I like the monster design, I like the storytelling, and I like the progression of how everything went. Because, in all honesty, once again, the group did not become kumbaya, which I was very happy for, because I do want it to be a few more episodes before they become a cohesive unit. If they're going to become a cohesive unit, let it be around the time that the normal Sixth Ranger...
would be introduced.
Yes, would be the part of the team. So I'm curious how next week's episode is going to go, because that is currently called number 11 Kai. Everyone's playing tag.
And we saw that really CGI green screen background again for a regular outdoor scene.
Well, the justification I have for it at this moment is really because Japan is currently in...
Yeah, but these episodes
lockdown.
would have been filmed before then.
Well, who knows how they may have made requirements for production.
As I said to Silver Quill yesterday, this is going to be the worst aging Sentai series due to all these green screens backgrounds. This is going to look like even the series from the 70s that occasionally will have some bad effects, it's going to even look worse than those.
Well, the only thing I could save it for the effects is if they went in and cleaned it up after it went to home video. For home video release.
Can only hope they're going to do that, but...
Because I know for anime series, they do that. The television release gets the rush job, and then the home video release gets the cleanup.
We can hope.
That's the only way I could see it working. But I will admit that next episode doesn't look... right now, it looks kind of like it's a little confusing of what's going on. I know I could easily read the synopsis and get an idea, but I want to leave it where I get to experience it rather than having it somewhat spoiled.
What do you think about Stacy not having anything to do in this episode?
I actually liked it because you don't want it to be forced in. You want it to be like a genuine progression of the story to have Stacy there. I'm hoping though that they will give Stacy a little bit more of a bigger part, if not in next week's episode, the week after.
Whatever Ijirud is working on.
Yes. And I like how they're taking a little bit of time with showcasing what he's doing, that he's still working it out, planning it out. So it's not like a rush job. It's not one of those things, the one episode, Ijiru's working, the second episode, Ijiru's plan comes into fruition. It's been 2 episodes now that Ijiru's been working on it. So I'm kind of hoping that we get a 3rd episode of him working on whatever, and then Barashitara's 947th son.
And I'm hoping maybe next week they'll also use Stacy. Well, Stacy's waiting for whatever Ijiru's doing to actually start doing something with Barashitara and start developing him.
Well, that will be... I would like to see that too. I would like to see a little bit more of the villain development, because I do feel, compared to some prior series, like Kira Major, I thought the villain development was pretty well done. But prior to that, I feel like this series is actually doing a little bit more development for the villains, even though it's not like this huge experience. You're seeing little nuggets come here and there.
But it's time that now they start getting a bigger focus.
Yes,
because we have established the main team. They've brought in 2 Kaiser now, so now it's time to start really establishing the villains.
It'll be interesting to see how the momentum goes, because I do feel like in the next few episodes we should have a big story bump.
There needs to be.
Where you give it more of an investment. Even if the series 50 episodes, we're at episode 10, so by episode 13, I think there should be some kind of nugget, big enough nugget, thrown out there to help progress the story a little bit further to make an impact. And right now, with Junko still writing a majority of the episodes, including this week's one, I do actually see some positivity in what she's doing. I understand you're not a big fan of hers, but compared to other series that we have watched of hers, I actually feel like this series is really trying. That it's not just a job, that she's actually trying to demonstrate that, yes, she does have the writing chops. And it does make me feel as though that maybe there were so many corporate oversights of what she could or could not do with other past series that she had to do what she had to do. That maybe by having a little bit more creative control, she can demonstrate something different.
We'll see.
Obviously, I'm not her biggest cheerleader. I'm just trying to be a voice of reason, because everybody deserves a second.
You're trying to be
or
the
20th.
optimistic side for her. Well, I'm on the pessimistic side.
Well, yeah, because usually I'm the pessimist who can plan out 10 steps into ultimate death while you're like, it happens. So, yes, this time I'm going to be optimistic. But, once again, I enjoyed it.
This was a good episode.
I'm happy that we're continuing to watch each episode when it comes out. It actually is a bright spot in the week. So, thank you, everyone, for enjoying this with us. And hopefully you like watching our couples counseling each week still. What?
You had a complete opportunity to make a whole joke beyond just it's a bright spot given what this episode was, and you just completely didn't roll with it. You just was like, okay, yeah, it's a bright spot, I hope blah blah blah. You could have just rolled that wave.
I am not you! I'm not gonna live off of puns.
You could have just lived off that final wave. Okay, fine. You're no fun.
I love you. You're special.
Damn right.
Anyways, thanks again for joining us.
Well, no, you do the...
Well, I didn't know if you had any final words.
Oh, no, I liked this episode a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. It had great moments. I liked the Monster of the Week. It's my favorite one of the series so far. And the comedy worked for me in this one.
Oh, the comedy was really well done. And I actually feel like all the characters are becoming more cohesive as a unit, even if they're two separate units.
So, yeah, I'm fine with this one. It was good.
Yay! Alright, so we will wrap it up now. If this is your first time checking us out, shame on you. We have a ton of videos. Please hit the subscribe bell or whatever
the subscribe bell.
The subscribe thingy.
The subscribe button, the bell notification.
And like. And definitely comment. Let us know any positive, negative, or if you just want to troll kaiju, because I enjoy reading those comments when you troll them. Otherwise, if you want, check out the rest of our videos. We have a lot of content. You can also check me out on Pop Culture Therapy, where I and Avient Nebula will talk about random things. And also, if you'd like to see more about what we do as a whole, check out our website at creativitybydesignllc.com. And if you'd like to support us outside of just watching these videos, which we do appreciate, check us out on Patreon at Kaiju no Kami. And if you want to see more about our social media, go to either Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Kaiju no Kami. And that, I think, is about it. So, bye, everyone!